Alright, mom. Yeah, like run that thug gonna go live or something like that, but don't worry about that. What's good? I don't know. One of y'all getting married or something? Alright, mom. New moon in Aquarius. I'll just run through this, John. Salutations to Lord Ganesha with curved trunk and large luminous body. Remover obstacles. Son of Shiva and Parvati. You dig what I'm saying? Lord of auspicious beginners. Humbly I offer obeisances, and I ask that you preside over this report and remove or place in the path any obstacles that could deter or assist, or keep me from running my mouth too long. Thank you so much. All right. So this chart of the new moon. New moon is a time of intentions and seed planting in agriculture, right? So if you was growing plants, ideally you would want to wait till the new moon or the time of the new moon, a day or two around that zone, and plant your seeds or prepare for germination, right? Amavasya is what it means in Sanskrit. Amavasya means to come together. So that which comes together is the sun, which is your purpose, your dharma, your will, and your instincts, and what drives you, right? And of course, any other planet and dispositors. So new moon is occurring in the sign of Aquarius. Aquarius is detached in an unusual quality of the air element, right? And it's in the star Purva Bhadrapada, one of the more fierce mansions, also known as the worrying star and a part of the scorching pair, right? So it's about fire purification. Aquarius is represented by a broken pot. So this pot broken, so it's like you fill it up and it's just gonna pour out. It's just gonna come out. Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, which is the planet of grief, Uranus, which is a planet of surprise, and then Rahu, which is a planet of obsession and innovation. In some instances, it's an urn to hold ashes or a water pitcher, but it's broken, so it's going to be some kind of like issues and a breakdown or a breakthrough of. So water is about consciousness. It relates to the mind and the emotional world. So with a broken pot, it's like Aquarius individuals are very sensitive, maybe emotional, but you know it's in a pot, so you can't see it unless it spill over the broken parts and stuff like that, spill out of the cracks. But I ain't gonna bap. I prayed and cried like a motherfucker last night. I ain't even gonna hold you when everybody was sleeping as down. You feel me? So Aquarius is fixed, air element, and ruled by Saturn. So the fixed modality is about focus and specialization. They do their thing. Not too much of this, not too much of that. They just fix and focus on doing their thing. A Leo focus on doing their thing. A Scorpio focuses on them doing their thing. A Taurus focus on doing their thing. What is their thing? Taurus, material possessions. Leo is about inspiration and self-expression. Scorpio is about hidden knowledge and secrets, and then Aquarius is about logic and a unique perception. You dig what I'm saying? So air element is pervasive, mental, communicative, and it's ruled by shadow planets of Saturn and Rahu. So it gives a seriousness, it gives a detached nature, and it also gives a bit of obsession and greed to their nature, right? Saturn governs over grief and transformation, and he helps to remove the false personality or the counterfeit self through our prejudice and conditionings that we may have gathered or learned from others in the life. Saturn is the root chakra or the root center. That's an open center. So therefore, we always receiving pressure from individuals outside ourselves and the environment. It's a heavily conditioned thing because it's like your survival instinct kick on. I ain't gonna back down here with my father and his wife. And yesterday I had a moment, nigga. I wanted to go back to my car because it's like I felt safe in that jump. Like I kind of was like, bro, like you may not know, but I've been on the street since like last year, January and stuff. So it was like trying to adjust to being comfortable. It was crazy, bro. Rahu governs over limitless passions and the restlessness in ourselves, right? So it brings us into the world or brings us into different worlds. And K2 takes us out of worlds, right? So new moon is in the daytime, strong sign of Saturn. This is the intention to become aware of our limitations and conditionings so that we may eventually have a breakthrough or something, or break the mode of what has been our routine and our conditions and our prejudices, right? It's fixated on its own way of thinking and communicating. So this can create a bit of alienation and loneliness this month. You dig what I'm saying? It's a need to break out of past conditionings and really put effort into boundaries and strategies that was established the previous lunar month. So overall, just breakthroughs, rebellions, and reformation. So Purva Bhadrapada, known as the worrying star and the scorching part of the scorching pair, it is the star of Aja Ekapada, who is it's like a form of Shiva. It's a fierce form of Shiva. It's the one-footed form of Shiva, the cosmic axis that everything come from and revolve around, and then eventually gonna go back into and dissolve. You dig what I'm saying? Into dissolution or singularity. So and in the West, like where we at over in America and stuff like that, that symbol is the Baphomet. You dig what I'm saying? But once again, Western mean white, and then if you know about white people, they kind of got like they freaky as shit, man. So they try to cover a lot of symbols and a whole bunch of just taboo elements. You dig?
I thought you still singing that what you call that love song joint.
Oh nah.
That joint like this. I was like,
nah, I wasn't doing that. So
I guess this must be mine.
Yeah, I ate mine yesterday. They torch. So
you eat it inside this container?
Nah, I put the joint on the in the air fryer. And then I put a piece of toast in there too. What is that? Purva Bhadrapada symbol is the front end of a funeral cot or urn. So this star represents the exit from, or the beginning process of exiting from this life and this world into the next, into other worlds. So it's like it's the blessed left foot. So it's one of the feet that you kind of get up. You know what I'm saying? And then Aja Ekapada. Aja means unborn. And then Eka means one. And then Pada means foot. So the one who was born or the one that has an unusual path in life. Or the one who is unborn. And hold on, I'm gonna scroll down. So it's a star where we offer up our past, previous life, and our possessions. We put that on the sacrificial altar as an offering, so that it's like, all right, look, I'm ready to kind of purge myself of all the things that I've been through and have been holding on to up to this moment. I'm gonna let go of that. So this next jump, this is it's part of a chart I did for a person with natal moon and Purva Bhadrapada. So the meaning is the first of the blessed feet, form a lucky feet, a beautiful left foot. The Shakti is the power of spiritual fire, or to raise the evolutionary level. Spiritual fire is that which going to like purify and burn those things up. It's the sacrificial altar. So one-footed goat god. Asha means unborn, unusual, of not a normal birth. Eka means one. Pada means foot or path. Altogether, this shows that one born under this star is the one not born of a normal birth, one who treads a unique and unusual path. The native, like the person who chart I did to when I was researching this junk, she got her soul planet in this star. I also had my soul. No, she got her soul planet and something else. My soul planet in this star, but she do got some like. She got a couple jokes in this star. I know someone else with the moon and Purva Bhadrapada, and the individual also, now her soul planet is in that jump. So all these individuals, like if I'm keeping it funky, in their instance, I ain't trying to expose none, but it's kind of objective because it's a pattern for myself and those two. It happens that when they was born, like especially in childhood, there was things that was going on, especially as far as like the sexualization of a child, and having to suffer and go through sexual assault at young ages and shit like that. You feel me? But then also being casted out almost like a black sheep because these individuals stir up the shadow side and the, you know, more taboo elements of others. You dig what I'm saying? Like this star is a star of like a star about boundaries. I got Saturn in Purva Bhadrapada, so I don't really play. I fucking kill you over my boundaries. But it can't get to that point, right? But the other ones, it's like victims of having their boundaries crossed. But then in the same vein, sometimes they don't know when not to have boundaries. Now the kid with Purva Bhadrapada, this is also this one of them like secret society stars, star Aleister Crowley and all of that there. So oftentimes Purva Bhadrapada natives can tempt other people into transgressing boundaries and stuff like that to see whether or not they'll be able to pull themselves out of that. Because those with Purva Bhadrapada in significant places, soul planet or things like that, their test is the fact that, so interesting, you kind of it's not that you all alone, you kind of are, but for Purva Bhadrapada natives like myself, the test is to see whether or not you gonna violate. So we'll get into that later because Seven of Swords is the card for Purva Bhadrapada, and it is about doing things your own, but then trying to get an advantage through deceitful means, lying, and cunning. You dig what I'm saying? And then I wish I had that John up. It's on my phone. I got a little ebook on Purva Bhadrapada, a little 31 page down, and it's basically pointing out like, oh yeah, well Purva Bhadrapada natives, not only do they tempt others into their deepest, darkest taboos, but they also have to fight against the urge. Like, I ain't going back. I'm sorry about that. I don't claim the pimp shit. I don't claim the pimp shit. But I remember, like, I started getting into shit, and it was just back to back, bro. Like, I was in the mall, and then I'm like, oh, I know that motherfucker, bro. Like, oh, I seen that jump with da-da-da-da-da. Now I'm fucking shaking hands with, like, bona fide pimps and shit like that. And it's just like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? I be having correspondence, and based on this knowledge, but there are no coincidences. You feel me? But I don't be trying to claim that pimp shit because it's like my introduction to it. It's not necessarily like it downplays it or it talks bad about it, but it's just like, bro, it's really too much work. You dig what I'm saying? Like, I be having niggas, you think a motherfucker your mans and shit like that, but he really jealous because as a black man, there's always this, like, it's the victimless victim and then somehow a super predator. So everybody kind of might use the black man to dump all of their little emotional baggage on, and then in the same vein, they be dying to snitch on a nigga or dying to try like put a nigga down or humiliate a nigga. So I be dealing with guys that's always trying to talk about their little escapades with women and they doing this, but then I be looking at the nigga like, bro, I don't feel that from you, bro. Like, I can't even tell you about them things that I might have did because the jealousy, I don't get it. I hate when niggas try to brag about women, bro. I hate when everybody just be talking about bros, and I just be like, bro, like, stop it. That was a drunk night. Like, y'all was drunk. I can't be impressed. You know? And then it's like, nigga be a goofy for real. So, alright. Star-Lord is Jupiter, planet of wisdom, expansion, truth, and religious right. He's the greater benefit and always in chase of wealth, and grants a deep sense of protection and luck to the devotees. So, the motivation for Purva Bhadrapada is Artha. Artha is the accumulation of, it's just accumulation so that it could be wealth, knowledge, or any type of resource that one can use. Purva Bhadrapada relates to the central banking systems, but like those, like the head of them jumps, so like Rothschilds and whatever Bilderbergers and all of that stuff. You dig what I'm saying? So it's like it got real. Oh, Martin Luther King, his moon was in Purva Bhadrapada too, which probably means that's his soul planet because it's the high degrees of Aquarius. Skull and Bones is another symbol. So Skull and Bones societies and shit like that. A lot of your presidents kind of might have planets in Purva Bhadrapada and things of that nature. Can you dig what I'm saying? Let me see. The symbol is two swords, a two-faced man, the front of a funeral cot or a pyre, the front of a sacrificial altar urn. Symbol of the swords represents the ability to cut through negativity to get to the truth. Also related to cutting ties and attachments to our former life. This is a fierce star, and so is associated with dangerous activities such as arson. And when I say Martin Luther King got moon and Purva Bhadrapada, right, there's two instances, one from the past and then one from like last year or something like that. They actually threw a bomb in his house, right? But then like I guess sometime last year or whatever, some lady went up there. It was probably like some type of hoax, or niggas be doing skits. You never know if it's TikTok or not. She was kind of supposed to be pouring gasoline on Martin Luther King Jr.'s old estate. You dig what I'm saying? So there's that. Swords are the element of the mental plane and communication. Matter of fact, new moon in Purva Bhadrapada and a fierce star means that this next month a job like could be dangerous activities such as arson, war, cruel acts. Man, sharp way of communicating with others, right? The symbols of the funeral card represent a need for sacrifice and to let go. Past issues, baggage, trauma, pain, and disappointment are brought forth to the sacrificial altar before the avatars of the Supreme, and you place it in the fire as an offering to a new life. You dig what I'm saying? It's kind of like repentance. So the Shakti is the power to raise the evolutionary level through placating offerings of your past life and your past identity. So, you put up your ego. Anything you attach to, it probably is linked with your ego. All the things that you connect to, though, is linked with your soul. You feel me? A man with two faces. One looks towards the future, the other looks at the past. And now a man with two faces also points to those with Purva Bhadrapada as significant planets, right? It points to them having, some type of mental disorder. Some people might be bipolar. In some instances, it could be like mild schizophrenia or something like that. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah, or it just might be. So, what can I say? Kanye West has moon and Purva Bhadrapada. Not soul planet. I believe his is in the early degrees of Pisces. Yeah, that nigga two-faced. He say he bipolar or whatever and shit like that. Who cares? He always talking about the money and, sponsorships and Adidas. That's the motivation of Arthur and stuff like that. You feel me? Skilled in the matters of making money, chasing out the wealth. This person may easily think a negative outcome, suffer grief, under control of the spouse, be whether wealthy, clever, and uncharitable. Those who have moon and but tend to suffer from grief. Adulterous will have no permanent home. Motherfucker. Be difficult to win over. Will get money from sovereign base. Dutiful and long lived. Shema is a vibration, the foundation of yogic posture. A powerful, eminent person, also a unit of time. The lion is associated with fierce deities such as Ma Durga, Sekhmet, and Lord Narasimha. These deities are here to provide protection to their devotees. These deities come to the rescues of the devotees that pray to them with sincerity, right? Regal authority, active and indulgent, strengths, eccentric, scholarly, witty, creates prosperity, receives money from the government, a warrior, spiritual depth, mystical beings devoted to those who impress them. Okay, if you can impress me, I'm fucking with you. But if you ever try to cross me, motherfucker, you gonna be one of the motherfuckers that I just one face forward and I let my other face look at you on some get thee behind me Satan. It's speculated that the figure of Jesus has moon and Purva Bhadrapada. It's possible. It's possible. You dig what I'm saying? So weaknesses, skeptical, pessimistic, nervous, angry, all the changes their residence many times. A financial planner, frugal, stingy, miserly. Sacrifice themselves for a higher cause to make a difference in the world. So all the stars of Aquarius kind of got this emptiness about them. Like the Nista is a drum. A drum is empty on the inside, but it make a loud noise. But that loud noise only comes based on what a Dhanista individual decides to allow to tap into them in a way. You dig what I'm saying? So like it could easily swing from a saint to like a Mephistopheles type of character. You dig what I'm saying? It grants a universal view through internal purification. It raises up our spiritual aspirations and takes us out of selfish behavior. Purva natives are devoted to God. They meet with unexpected success and may get unexpected wealth in old age. Fearful, nervous, angry, filled with sadness and problems, careful with accidents. They are radicals and nonconformists who have excellent speaking abilities to sway the masses. Famous personalities is Martin Luther King, Ramakrishna Parahamsa, Madame Curie, she discovered like an element, Robert De Niro, and then O.J. Simpson. Robert De Niro plays a man that's outcasted even in underworld groups. So like in Casino, he was a Jew. And yeah, he could make money, motivation of art, that's skilled in making wealth. He can make money for the like, what is it, mob or mafia, whatever little outfit they was in. But they don't really respect him. You dig what I'm saying? And Purva Bhadrapada under control of the spouse. His wife in that movie, Ginger, she had a pimp and she was really tied in. She had an emotional anchor with that little pimp guy. Was it Lester or something like that? And that nigga kind of, yeah. And what's another jump? The movie Heat. That was a cool one, but that was more so like a Aslacia Jones. Now, it's a link between Aslacia and Purva Bhadrapada, I think, because Aslacia is linked with the three lettermen like CIA, FBI, ATF, DEA, IRS, all that type of business, because it's Homeland. Like Aslacia could be like Homeland Securities and stuff like that. Whereas Purva Bhadrapada, being that Aquarius is a more public sign, Purva Bhadrapada is about those agencies like that's way bigger than all that. So I see like central banks, the Illuminatis, the Skull and Bones, the Rosicrucians, all of those things, that's more so Purva Bhadrapada. And then their symbol is Baphomet or the Skull and Bones. You dig what I'm saying? So new moons bring a checklist of conduct, things that we could do to align with the energies of the upcoming month. First thing we could do is detach, release and let go of any attachments. Aquarius, the most attached sign in the zodiac. So it shows where we could be pragmatic and kind of like really compartmentalize our emotions. I've been going through, I kind of got like, nigga lost my work, but I realized I kind of got the energy to work more than one job. And now I kind of need to, because when I don't got a job, when it's quiet, it's so loud. But when I got a job or I'm working with some, like I really don't think about nothing but the task at hand, and it be cool, because then I might get off, do whatever I gotta eat or something like that. Maybe I go to the gym and then I'm gonna go to sleep, wake up, and that's what it is. And then I'm just trying to get some money so I can do some other things and stuff like that. So it tells us to depend upon our, be a little bit cold in our thinking and depend upon rationality and reasoning and a unique perspective. The second job to do is to be true. Aquarius is a distant sign ruled by a distant planet. So it's the month to kind of separate and give yourself space to be your unique self unapologetically. It don't care much about convention or established like social norms and patterns. All of that is kind of irrelevant for Aquarius. The third one is to be inventive. If you are feeling stumped by a situation, you will use that time to come up with some type of out of the box thinking for a solution. Aquarius is fashion forward and future focus. So it's about progression. You acknowledge the issue and the problem, emotionally detached from it, because that would really be stopping niggas from like actually coming up with a solution. And then you can make a breakthrough. Aquarius is about making that breakthrough, right? And the full moon gonna be in hostage, so therefore hostage is the hand, an open hand or a closed fist. So it's about being like having an understanding of how to give and receive, because you gotta be humble to give, but you gotta be even more humble to receive. One thing I personally like, I really vexes my spirit, is asking for help. I really hate asking for help. Um, I hate that shit, because it be seeming like we coming with like strings attached or something like that, and I don't know. Then I had to think about it, because the spirit of Mahabali is that spirit where it's like, ooh, I love to give, but you want to publicize how much you give, and it's like, if you couldn't publicize it, would you actually be this generous and stuff like that? And then like, how will you even? It's weird. Mahabali was a very pious, like a devoted demon. Don't make no sense, dude. So it's Saturn hour now. Let me finish this joint up. So the fourth joint is to be charitable. The new moon is favorable for charitable donations. Aquarius is philanthropic and humanitarian. It's a time where we can do small things for the betterment of our sojourn in the world, not just for humans, but also nature and animals. You dig what I'm saying? Um, you can get some good karma and be on the good side of Saturn and Rahu and different planets like Mars too, if you take care of nature. If you go out in nature, take care of nature, try to have a vegetarian or meat or animal free diet. You can drink milk. Like vegans be kind of like, they be pressed about certain things and stuff like that. But you can milk a cow, get some milk or some cheese, my nigga. Like, what the fuck? We get some clarified butter, man. But animal meat, if you ever seen how they like dispatch baby pigs and shit like that, if you was sick fuck, you probably cool with that. You probably don't even care. Cause I understand there's a class of even in astrology, there's a class that is the butchers. But I would rather the butchers do it. They can dispatch it in a humane way, like I trust them to do it. And the fifth thing is to connect, be sociable. Aquarius is a public air sign, so it likes to relate to others in a very light and communicative way. Aquarius is kind of funny though, because they relate to strangers and large groups of people rather than like intimate partners and one-to-one relationships that just be tough for them. You feel me? Because it's like, ooh, I done compartmentalized everything that I've ever felt forever. And it's like they'll get around their loved ones and family and friends and be like, oh God, I fucking love you. This is crazy. And then it's just a lot. So it's a great time to check in with friends, social circles, just interact with others. The water bear has a real keen sense for getting people together for a common ideal. So this would be a good month to like look for your soul group or your tribe, or look for those that y'all can mutually get involved in each other's endeavors. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, like I ain't gonna lie, I wouldn't know what the fuck what I'd have done, bro. I started freaking out. I was getting worried. I started panicking and shit. I'm super grateful for my father and his wife Tara, bro. I'm really grateful. Grateful for my mom too. That nigga just get on my. That nigga just do too much, bro. And I'm way too burnt out. Just far too burnt out. I got nigga. Grateful for that nigga Bundy. That's a good nigga, bro. I don't think that nigga realized how much he really owed. Just like, man, good nigga, bro. Heard from my nigga Derek, good nigga, man. No fucking bullshit. My granny, that shit was kind of like transformative, pivotal. Last couple months since my birthday, last couple weeks, pivotal. I'm so grateful for y'all. Yeah. I got anything else? Oh yeah, the cards, Mo. So the tarot card for this degree of the new moon is the Seven of Swords, meaning don't manipulate others for your personal gain. Be ethical and honest in your dealings and to maintain a good self-image. It's a lack of trust. Yeah. So if you look at the picture, it's a nigga holding 5 swords. He left 2 in the ground. Those 2 in the ground are his thoughts. They upright too. So it's like he kind of having thoughts about like, man, they ain't fucking with me, or some defeatist thoughts. Whereas the 5 swords in his hand is some kind of like deceitful thing. Because why would you hold swords by the blade? He gonna cut his fingers. So it's like if we ever looking for 5 missing swords, we checking nigga hands for cuts, and it's this guy. He's a bonehead, right? And it also mean that swords is thoughts and communication. So therefore, he kind of trying to keep his thoughts to himself, or he trying to steal someone else's intellectual property, perhaps, right? And if we zoom in, can I zoom in? Let me zoom in. Oh no, they won't let me. So we zoom in. It's a group of soldiers over here, and one guy's stick. So it's like, I don't know if they knowing that he on his way, like, oh, you get caught, we found you, dirtbag. Cause right over here, these tents is kind of colorful. They look festive. So this seemed like a time of celebration, a time of balance and harmony. And now somebody coming in to manipulate and deceive everybody and stuff like that. But there's people in the perimeter that's keeping track of things. So 7 of Swords represent deception, lies, trickery, cheating, and a lack of conscience. Taking caution in actions. When it's reversed, it shows the realization of past deceit, lies, and gives the potential to approach the situation differently, moving with honesty and integrity. 7 of Swords could show you people who masquerade as friends and spy in your camp. You know what I'm saying? So my issue last month, I was like, bro, like not even last month, but leading up to this jump, especially after the full moon, I was like, Mo, this nigga was smiling hard as shit on his way to shake a sucker hand and ain't think nothing about that shit. And in my head, I'm like, nah, that's not okay. Like, that's not okay at all. And you would think like, oh, it's So you or someone around you is trying to get away with something. If it's in the verse, they might be trying to confess something or express regret about something that they did or they felt they got away with. You know what I'm saying? I had a moment yesterday. It's open centers. I operate from my throat center and like my spleen and shit like that. You understand what I'm saying? All my other senses quite possibly might be undefined. So therefore, I might end up receiving impressions from others. Niggas went to Olive Garden yesterday. It was abroad in there, and I just, I talk about that on the story for a brief moment. But it was like, oh, she cute, she kind of my type and shit like that. But in the same vein, I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that shit. You feel me? Because one, I'm fucked up, and I know if I even sit up there and be trying to talk to Shawty, right, I might try to manipulate some shit like to my advantage. I'm like, no, I ain't got the capacity. Oh God. But then in the same vein, I got home, I could feel motherfuckers thinking about me, and I'm like, I had to say it out loud. I said, let me decree this so that it might be established. I'm like, bitch, stop thinking about me. Leave me alone. You feel me? Just leave me alone. I'm not coming back. I'm not none of that shit. And then to the old bitch, like, bitch, you can't come back at all. I gave you a window. I gave you a window. Feel me? To jump back in after you jumped out, but fuck no. There's a danger of being seduced or deceived. So, if you fucking with somebody, y'all split up, and I guess y'all thinking about getting back together, that's on you. Go ahead, get to seduce. I know some of, So the purpose is to discover yourself, reveal the true nature of others. This is the seven of swords in the Thoth deck. You got one central sword, and then you got 6 different swords around it. This central sword it got the symbol of the sun on it, so it shows your will. It shows your center. And the surrounding swords are different reasons you might tell yourself why you cannot have something, or why your efforts are futile. So Mercury is just having poor exchange, poor communication. You dig what I'm saying? You're not able to describe and communicate ideas and instructions and stuff like that with others. Boom, you can't get none done. Or you think that's the reason. Mars is a lack of energy. You don't have the desire to fight for the things that you want. That's not good. Mars is in Capricorn. That really should not be the issue. Jupiter is a lack of optimism and negative self-talk. You know what I'm saying? Inability to connect with your higher self. Venus is not loving oneself enough or feeling unappreciated. You dig what I'm saying? And then Saturn is either being too rigid and inflexible or not being persistent enough to get around the problem at hand. And then Moon is just not following your instincts. You dig what I'm saying? So the Sabian symbol for the degree of what the way is my Joan at? Oh. Cause I turned the font white. So it's developing softer feelings. Our capacity to feel more sensitively is brought to expression when we have beautiful and vulnerable things around us. Intuitive development of hidden meaning inherent in things. Let me pull this up real quick, cause we're skipping frame rates, y'all. That's cause I got all this shit up. That's my old bitch. Don't watch that, nigga. I really hope y'all can see that. Catch a glimpse of a wild ass nigga on me. Delete. Close the windows real quick. Yes. I mean, no, don't change it. Traditions that anchor community values give comfort and strength, but are not absolute. It's about tradition. What it say? Before the modern world diminished the contrast between what men do and what women do, the tendency had been to promote feminine values more clearly by having these qualities associated with women. The softer side of life was shown to us typically by the modesty of a cultured woman who could arrange flowers in a pretty valuable vase, positioned to be especially vulnerable to breakage, so that brash behavior was effectively discouraged. This allowed for the fuller expression of delicate feelings in both the sexes. Yeah, I get that. That's kind of appropriate because a lot of y'all been on some gender war shit, and I don't get it. Like, the only reason it's a gender war is because the bras want to be men. Ain't no man really want to be a woman, bro. Like they are, but them niggas ain't right. Really point to a certain amount of sickness. You dig what I'm saying? Now I will say Freud and all them white boys did say like there is the penis everything. Feel me? And the system of racism, white supremacy that penis envy job like is directed and internalized by whites and women, and then they kind of project that a bit of that hatred out for the black man killed. Cause it ain't one nigga I don't know that ain't never had no bro tell him like, how could you do that with my dick? It's like, what are you talking about? This ain't yours, shawty. What are you talking about? Alright, cause you see him on YouTube and all that. Let me exit. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it.